Hello, everyone. My name is Jeremy Watson, and today I'll be sharing my testimony with you. I am the youngest of three. I grew up in a nuclear family. I have two older sisters. Being the youngest child, I had a lot of freedoms, and my oldest sister was often in a lot of trouble with school and with the law. There was several points in my childhood where I remember going to bed at night and police lights were flashing off the wall because cop cars were outside and they were always at the house for my sister. And this became a normal routine pattern throughout my childhood. And in all this chaos, my sister was always getting the attention and I was always just left alone because I wasn't causing problems. I got good grades in school. I was often on the dean's list or the honor roll and never really had many problems. And then right around 14, things started to change for me. I started losing a lot of family members. In a 2-year period, I lost 5 family members, and it culminated with me losing my mother by the time I was 16. And that stretch of my life was the hardest, toughest point I've ever had to experience, and it was a lot of death. I'd go to a funeral, I'd grieve, I'd get back to normal. Another death, I'd fall behind again, pain, loss, grief. I'd process it, deal with it, or at least I thought I was, and I'd get back to normal, get caught up again. But I never really got back to normal. I never really caught up. This was my pattern for those years. And after losing my mother, both of my sisters were out of the house. So it was just me and my father. And I started to self-medicate. A lot of drinking, a lot of drugs, and a lot of parties. And it was just me coping with the pain, life, the loss, trying to find my way. And then right shortly after I turned 18 years old, I had an altercation with someone. I was backing out of my driveway. I had my best friend in the car. I had a female friend from school in the back seat, and my friend and I were giving her a ride to drop her off at another friend's house. And an individual came to my house and saw me, put a gun to my head, told me to stop the car. I stopped the car. He opened up the back seat. He grabbed my female friend out of the back seat and kidnapped her, for all I knew. And this is the catalyst that triggered the following events. In that moment, I felt like a victim. I was full of anger and rage, and I didn't like that feeling, and I wanted to retaliate. And I was jumping to conclusions. I knew who he was. I didn't know why he did that. And me and my friend and my then oldest sister decided that I would do a drive-by and fire a gun at his house to scare him. And since I didn't know where he lived, I fired a gun at somebody else's house because I thought that individual had sent him to my house to scare me. And 18 years old, I'm in the back of a pickup truck, and I fired a 12-gauge shotgun at a house to scare a kid, and I ended up hitting someone in their heart, killing them instantly. The man I shot died 10 days before his 19th birthday. I was 18 years old at the time. I was arrested, sent to jail. I pled guilty to a 300-month sentence, 299 months, it's 25 years. And when court was all said and done, I was transferred from county jail to St. Cloud, where I started my sentence. This is a huge part of my testimony because when I was in county jail, I woke up in the holding tank, sobered up, and that's when it hit me that the way I had been living was not healthy. It was not a good way to be living, and I needed to make some changes because the way I was doing it wasn't working. I found myself in jail. I took a human's life. My life was over. And while I was in county jail, I went to the library and I read a book by Harold Morris called Twice Pardoned. And I was in my cell in county jail crying after reading his book because I wanted what he had. He was in a different state serving prison for a murder that he did not commit, and he was fighting for his life while in prison. But his family was out on the street fighting for his freedom, and throughout his interactions in the prison, he was an athlete before he went in. He ended up meeting the warden's son through the fence as he was shooting basketballs, and he started coaching this kid how to be a better basketball player. And the little boy had a shirt that said, "Jesus loves you." And the little boy started to talk to him and share the gospel, and Harold Morris surrendered and gave his life to Christ. And he had peace, and he writes about it, he talks about it. And after having read his story, that's what I needed, that's what I wanted. And I started going to church, and my first church service, when it was done, they let us out. I'm going back to my cell, and the pastor handed me a Bible tract, God's Simple Plan of Salvation by Ford Porter, written in 1933. I took that Bible tract, I went back to my cell, I read it, I surrendered, I gave my life to Christ. May 18th, 1998, I was born again, and I've been following Christ ever since. I am a sinner. My life has been turned upside down through the transformation God has made in my life. And that was both the fall of my life and the beginning of my life. The old me died in that cell, and the new me, having surrendered, gave my life to Christ. I was blessed. I was given a second opportunity, a second chance. I was released in 2015. When I walked out of the doors of prison, I had spent half my life in prison. I went in 18 years old, a young, scared kid, and I came out a grown man. And then my life started. I got a job, I got a career, I got a place to live. I started dating, and I've been blessed. A lot of you know my wife, Laura Watson. We have a beautiful, healthy, happy daughter, and we have another one on the way due in December. And my marriage, my relationship, the birth of Rinley, all have been God's stories and just blessings in my life. I surrendered and gave my life to Christ, and He has given me strength. He has given me hope. He has given me a future. He has given me a purpose. And now my life is filled with Christ. My wife and I are very active in this church. We believe in it. We believe in Josh. We believe in this community. And now I'm here.